Hey guys, and welcome to a glorious Warhammer 3 battle. I'm a Rubber Duck of War. Today, I'm going to be leading the forces of Kislev the Mighty, taking on Skarbrand the Exiled, who shall be championed by Logic here today. There's also a YouTuber, feel free to go check him out. He's going to be my opponent in the next couple of videos, I think. We've had a load of really close, good, fun games. So we're going to be showcasing them today. We're on the Mountain of Khorne. It is a Domination showdown, and my build may not surprise you too much. I've been using this build, at least opening part of this build, a ton recently with a load of success, though my reserve troops are a little bit more experimental. Going to be bringing in some fun units, particularly the Ice Guard. They are one of my favorite units. They are so badass and cool looking, but our build is relatively simple. So we do have a load of Winged Lancers, looks like 2 units. We have the Warbear Riders. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't have Boris unlocked. I will have him unlocked by the next couple of replays, so hopefully we'll show him, because he is a monster alongside Warbears. He buffs them hugely. But apart from that, we have Konstantin leading our army instead of Boris. I definitely want to get in on Boris, because I think he's actually going to be very good up against Khorne. He's a single entity destroying monster. But still, he's a good lord anyway, the one we do indeed have. Coming in with the Lullaby for a bit of HP renewal. Tor's Battle Hymn, which is always quite nice for that extra melee attack. We have the Courage of Sacrifice. We have Ursun's Ward as well. So pretty decent stuff. Usual toolkit. Brazen Mace as well. So pretty awesome stuff there. We also have Double Light War Sled. War Sleds, some of the best units in the game for Kislev. They just dominate the battlefield with fantastic mass. They're war wagons which actually work and are powerful. Of course, from us, though, we do have some sneaky schemes. We have a couple of units of Flesh Hounds, or 1 Flesh Hound, 1 Chaos Hound on the left-hand side. Now, Flesh Hounds are probably the best unit in the game. I'm going out there and saying it now. That, of course, may change. I haven't played, like, a huge amount of games, but just from initial impressions, I think Flesh Hounds of Khorne are the best unit in the game. They have some very good mobility, pretty damn tanky as well, and very good melee attacks. That magic attacks super helps out as well up against other demonic factions. In the main battle line, we have 2 units of Chaos Warriors of Khorne. We also have some Chaos Warriors of Khorne with halberds in the back. We have Skarbrand the Exiled, a one-man wrecking ball. He is a beast. Him and Kari are kind of the 2 badass, like, single-entity slayers. Skarbrand is a better one-on-one fighter, but a little bit less mobility, and of course isn't a spellcaster. Looks like he's coming in with all the goodies today with the Bellowers of Endless Fury. We have the Wrathful Reaper, which is a really nice buff, though, which does unfortunately cause him to rampage, and his Rage Embodied, which is pretty cool. It's a Hex, and it rampages people in that Hex, which is disgustingly powerful if you pop it at the right time. However, it works in the same way as Warhammer 2 works, and unless they're below, like, 75% health, it won't rampage them. We have more Chaos Warhounds on this right-hand side. Looks like 2 units. Logic is a massive fan of the Hounds in general. Almost every battle I've played with him, when he goes Khorne, he spams Hounds in all different directions. It can be super annoying and frustrating to deal with. We'll have to see how we fare today. So we do have Winged Lancers lurking in the trees here, awaiting at the ambush. Now, they are anti-infantry. They will slaughter Hounds like nobody's business. They get through them very quickly. However, Winged Lancers seem to lose to Flesh Hounds, because Flesh Hounds are actually large units. They count as like a large, almost like a monstrous cavalry unit, I suppose. So they don't get their bonus versus infantry from them, and that seems to be pretty decisive in some of the battles I've done anyway. So the Light War Sled's doing a little bit of poke, just grinding up against the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. I should be probably cycle charging it a little bit more here while I have the opportunity. Winged Lancers are moving out to this left-hand flank just to say hello to the Chaos Warhounds and try to drive them away. The Winged Lancers are on the approach there. Polar Bear's just waiting in the middle at the moment with our good old Lord, and the War Sleds started to move forward to do a little bit of cycle charging. Now, the Warhounds are kind of darting away. We do have the Flesh Hounds of Khorne here, and I'm trying to engage them with the Winged Lancers. They are falling back, rather wisely going to be falling back towards a Chaos Warrior of Khorne halberd unit. Nice little summon trap here. So you summon a unit of halberds, you move back your Hounds there, and I simply cannot engage. Now, the Winged Lancers lower their lances and start to charge towards the Chaos Warhounds, and this is where I do a trap of my own. So I summon a unit of the Dervishes Knights from my vanguarded position here, and we trap the Warhounds. There is nowhere to go, little doggies. We're here to slaughter you. They try to turn and run away, and in come the Winged Lancers, and we're certainly going to butter their bread. Look how much HP just drips off them there. So nice early engagement for us on the left-hand side. Elsewhere, things are going pretty good. The War Sled's taken very little casualties so far. Chaos Warriors of Khorne have taken significant losses there. Not a bad little chunk down off them, taking about a quarter of their health. Warbears, as well as my leader, is sitting here a little bit too static though. I really should have been charging much earlier with the War Sleds, but I was being a little bit cautious. So the cavalry have dominated the left-hand side. We're trying to capture this objective, but there are going to be Chaos Warriors of Khorne on their way, plus Flesh Hounds. That'll easily be enough to dispatch our horsemen, so I'm trying to capture that quick enough. Now, we've summoned a unit of the Tsar Guard, as well as some armored Corsairs coming into the middle fight, because they definitely need some infantry. This opening I've brought, I think in the last 2 Kislev replays I've shown so far, are a very similar opening. And it does lack infantry in the early stages, which can be a bit problematic. And look at all these Chaos Warriors of Khorne starting to push in to the objective. We've also got some long-range artillery coming in the form of the Skull Cannon. Very good at taking down infantry in its own right. Now, it looks like we are just about capturing the middle objective at the moment. Light War Sled's going to be driving in, just running over the Chaos Warriors, and then looping back up and around. Scarbrand's getting a little bit danger close right now, so the Warbears are on the approach. Warbears will certainly shred him a new one. Not quite as much as if they had Boris buff in them, but we've still got our boy doing his bits. The Battle Hymn has been popped, increasing our melee attack by 40, and Scarbrand is not having a good day whatsoever. The Tsar Guard have made it into the main fight. War Sleds continue to cycle, though this unit has got a little bit stuck, which is unfortunate. Tsar Guard moving in should be enough to dispatch the majority of this infantry. Scarbrand does move over. Looks like he's actually jumping after the light war sleds and has managed to escape the wrath of the polar bears, at least for now. Now, on the right-hand flank, we do have some glorious winged lancers just lancing down Chaos Warhounds and destroying them. But because there's 2 units here, 2R1, it looks like we have actually lost the victory point, even though we will eventually be able to beat the Chaos Warhounds. But if my opponent can simply spam summon cheap units here, it will stop me from capping it, though. You see how quickly Hounds get destroyed by those winged lancers. Now, the main fight, it looks like we do have some nastiness going down. We have the Wrathful Reaper, it seems to be popped right now. Tsar Guard do have the Rampage on them, but honestly, I wouldn't even mind if they got Rampage at this point, because they are in a perfect situation to deal with the enemy. And this is as well as rock and roll as it can get. Khorne versus Kislev, Grit versus Pure Fury, and those double-handed swords certainly doing a decent job, though. Scarbrand coming in and just punts a load of the Tsar Guard. That is insane. Sends them flying. We do have the Armored Corsairs in here, and they are shooting all their shots at Scarbrand at the moment. I also have the Ice Guard moving. Ice Guard is such a fun unit. We'll get to them in a second. Flesh Hounds being dispatched by the Warbears, who of course do have that bonus versus large, so it's quite nice to hit on the enemy. At the moment, though, we only have 1 objective. Our opponent also has just the 1, so quite a close fight so far. Wing Lancers constantly being harassed by the Halberds. It's a big pain in my butt, so we've got some light sleds to come over here, do a little bit of cycle charge and try to break up the enemy, so I can just then walk away with the Wing Lancers and get to a safer situation. We do manage to take down the Warhounds, and the Polar Bears, as well as Kostaltine, are on their way. In the main fight, things are going a little bit rough here. Now, the Tsar Guard done a fantastic job, up to 69 kills against elite infantry, but now we have the Ice Guard. Ice Guard are phenomenal. They come in 2 different forms, and this is a unit of elite badass, like, female warriors, and look at their reload animation. It's so dope. Honestly, thematically, they're right up there with the Polar Bears for me. Now, there's a sword version as well as a spear version, but they can do decent long-range damage to Scarbrand here. They also slow him with frostbite, and they're good melee combatants as well. On the right hand side, we just cannot capture this objective. We keep winning it with Wing Lancers coming in and slapping up the Chaos Warhounds, but the Flesh Hounds are a menace in the night. Wing Lancers simply cannot penetrate that 30 armor, it seems, which doesn't seem like much at all, but the Wing Lancers really struggle up against the Flesh Hounds, which I didn't really know until this game. I learned and I was like, my god, Flesh Hounds are a beast mode. We do have some dervishes just fleeing before more Warhounds trying to wrap around to the right-hand side. It doesn't matter if we can claim these objectives now. Big miss micro by me. I get my Wing Lancers killed and hunted down by Halberds. You're going to see there's a lot more in this game mode, because there is way more micro involved. Like, I thought it was going to be less micro. A lot of people did initially. You need way better micro, I think, because there's so much going on. You're bound to leave units and get them killed. Now, Light War Sleds will be dealing with the Flesh Hounds of Khorne. Likewise, we have the Warbears over here, but I'm really suffering up against the Halberd units. In the middle, we did good with the Tsar Guard, and of course with the glorious, I believe they're called the Ice Guard. Yeah, the Ice Guard as well should do absolutely fine, but I'm trying to use my mobility against Khorne. If they can just spam, like, Hounds everywhere and get Halberds on units, it's a recipe for disaster. But I am destroying a lot of the Hounds quite quickly on this side, which is good news for me, and the Halberds are a little bit slow. However, we're struggling to capture the objective. The mid objective is my opponent's for now. We can see we've got 1 objective. My opponent currently has 2. We're fighting bravely in the middle. Now, the Armored Corsairs doing a decent job. I believe Scarbrand did get felled. Let's see if we can find him. Yeah, he was fallen, unfortunately, from the wrath of the Ice Guard, who simply just poured shots on all day. The Tsar Guard have finally decided to retreat incredibly slowly. They're exhausted, but they did a good job. And the Ice Guard being in the middle is really going to shore things up. And we have just about captured the middle objective, which is all good for us. However, we did then lose the left-hand side one. Corsairs are on their way, and we have more Armored Corsairs starting to dip their toes in. On the right-hand flank, the Wing Lancers are falling back here. Unfortunately, my opponent opponent came with a lovely play here in Rampage, my other Winged Lancers, and the War Sled, so I couldn't escape. Scarbrand's actually still alive. I thought he was dead, but boo, like the boogeyman, he appears once more to destroy all that we hold dear. The mighty bear god protect us. So the Rampage is really nice. We take up against War Sleds, who normally kite and fall back, likewise Cavalry, who cycle charge, and Scarbrand has been a bit of a monster. At least we were able to force him off that middle objective. We have Winged Lancers returning, looking to hunt down the War Hounds, and we have Armored Corsairs on the way back in. Left-hand side, we're starting to get a bit of infantry going now. We have more Corsairs on the way and some Tsar Guard. I think I should have been spamming infantry far more early here, as the Constantine is kind of struggling a little bit. The Warbears have been forced off. They've done a decent job, though, all round. They're up to, I think, probably about paying for themselves. Constantine is now surrounded by halberds, but with all our infantry coming in, we should be able to get this back. We have some basic light troops here in the mid. They're a crossbreed kind of unit with a bow and axe. They should do okay up against the Flesh Hounds. I'm currently just force pathing them into the objectives because my opponent has a relatively decent lead right now on the tickets, about 1,000 tickets, and I don't want that to get out of hand. In the middle, the Hell Cannon, or the Skull Cannon I should say, has been in combat long enough. It has gained back some of its ammunition, so probably wants to fall back because we have more Armored Corsairs coming in. The Ice Guard is 360 no-scope and falls in the face, and we are dominating at the center of the battlefield, but the flanks we're really struggling on, particularly objective number 3. Now, Scarbrand's on the way back. Hopefully, we have enough in the center to deal with him. There are going to be more Flesh Hounds. My opponent jumps in the back of Chaos Warhounds onto our range unit. The fun thing for us, though, is honestly the Ice Guard, they don't really care. Furies, Hounds, they will gut them like pigs, basically. They will slaughter them with their swords. Although saying that, we are struggling a little bit here. We only have 40 armor. So we do take considerable damage, but you can see Chaos Warhounds are going down. We're under attack by 3 units currently, still holding firm. Scarbrand does decide to dive in, and oh my god, just launches his axes into the ground. Did you see that? That is wild. Wraithful Reaper is active once more, but the Ice Guard are here, breaking off 2 units of Warhounds and holding firm alongside their loyal Armored Corsairs in the middle. We have more Halberds on the approach. On the left-hand side, we have now brought in my Frost Maiden, maybe a tad too late. I always bring the Frost Maiden in as a reserve troop because it really does help out with Winds of Magic, but it can be rough as well because it's my main answer to Halberds. Now, we do come in with the Heart of Winter, which is a fantastic animation, and that's going to shred these Chaos Warriors of Khorne, and we will hopefully be able to capture Objective 1 back. We have Objective 2, and we are back in the game. Now, Constantine is having to flee from Flesh Hounds. He can probably deal with them, but it would take him an absolute age. We do have a Winged Lancers moving into the main fight once more to try to support the Ice Guard, who are starting to get shut down a little bit. Winged Lancers, they see a demon, and do they run away? No, they charge straight in. They have ice running in their veins, and it's no normal ice. It's that pimped up Kislev ice. You know they are going to be charging in at all opportunities. Winged Lancers surrounding Scarbrand should be enough to drag him down. He is starting to destabilize here a little bit, being a demon. Up to 101 kills, though. He did a decent job. We now have the Armored Corsairs who can hopefully handle the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Going to be a close fight there, though, for sure. And it looks like Scarbrand not going down without a bit of a scrap, but there the Winged Demon doth fall. Constantine is trapped. I'm trying to pull him out of the Flesh Hounds. We're up to Silver Chevron now, which is disgusting. Tsar Guard are on the approach to try to save their Liege Lord. We can also try and prop some heals on him, but it is looking a little bit bad for our fellow. Frost Maiden is active, which is juicy stuff. On the right-hand side, you just see dogs everywhere. Flesh Hounds, as well as Chaos Warhounds, dominating this right-hand flank. Objective 3, firmly in control of my opponents. However, we have 2 objectives, and there is time to catch up yet, so we should be okay at the moment. Though a nice counterplay, some nice summons coming in by my opponent here. Chaos Furies, as well as Chaos Warhounds, on the warpath to attack my poor little Corsairs here. Although we do have the mighty Constantine on the way to come and support. Maybe moving the Tsar Guard over there was, I mean, I don't know. We get to kill a unit of Flesh Hounds, which is always juicy, and only 1 unit of Hounds. We should be able to deal with them relatively effectively with our Cossars. Winged Lancers lower the lance and charge into Flesh Hounds, but you'd expect them to dumpster Flesh Hounds. They just really do not. It's actually quite a close fight between these two. Now, on the charge, obviously, we do a load of damage here, but as they start to stabilize, we start to lose really quite badly. Now, the Flesh Hounds do have 2 chevrons, and we only have the 1, so they got a chevron on us. In the middle fight, we are still holding firm. We've summoned some more light war sleds to action, and they're just cycling through all these halberd units and starting to drag them down. And with 80 Tsar Guard moving into the middle, and Tsar Guard don't really like moving once they've got to a place. They kind of like sitting there and hanging around. So we're getting deadly close here. My opponent is 1,000 tickets away. He owns 1 objective. I currently own 2, though this one on the left is starting to be lost. So Winged Lancers are our kind of counter to this. going to swoop in and try to take down the Chaos Warhounds. I need to stop my opponent taking this objective, otherwise I'm going to be in a really bad state. So even the Frost Maiden has popped in there. Furies are able to slaughter my Lord, who just got harassed all day long. And in we come, slamming into the Chaos Warhounds. Should be enough, you would hope, to take them off the objective, but they're still controlling it despite having about half HP, which is interesting stuff. It looks like it did just go green, but then another unit of Chaos Warhounds pours in, as more dervishes do as well. So it's a scrap for this objective. I have to hold this if I want a chance to win, and we are really butchering the Warhounds quickly. We even proper Frost Blades down on our unit from that Witch, and we are holding this objective, at least for now, which is really, really clutch. We're also starting to capture objective number 3. We have some Winged Lancers on there, and in the main fight, the Zargard are struggling a little bit. War Sled's being dragged down, and it looks like we have Bloodletters in the mix, which is quite a nice counter to the Tsar in general. They should trade relatively evenly into each other, and it'd just be a big bloody slaughterfest in the middle. Light War Sleds are doing some decent work. Unfortunately, looks like the Ice Guard did eventually shatter. Only 3 models left there, but you can see some more Light War Sleds have been brought to the battlefield, and we're starting to lose the middle objective, and the far one we simply cannot catch. Chaos Warhounds, even if they're going to lose to our cavalry, it doesn't matter because they can simply keep stopping us capping it. So this middle one must be held. Looks like objective 1 is well and truly in our hands. Winged Lancers going to start pouring in to this middle fight, which is mainly Hounds. There are some Halberds here and Bloodletters now, and they're doing a decent job of just annoying me and trying to hold me down. So we do have the Frost Maiden here. We could hopefully do big area effect and butcher most of these troops, but I'm running out of time. My opponent has 4,500 tickets. I have 4,300, and it looks like 2 objectives are for Khorne right now. I have to get one back, and I have to get one back now, or maybe even 2. The Light War Sleds certainly going to do a trick on the majority of this infantry, just pile driving into the enemy. My god, going deep, and look at this flustercluck of carnage we have all our troops in. Trying our best to drag them down. There are some Halberds in the middle, but I'm having to charge my cavalry in anyway. We're also coming in for another flank charge from the dervishes. Not going to be quite as impactful as the Winged Lancers here, but should be enough just to break off the majority of this infantry. But still, infantry counts for so much more than cavalry that the objective, though we have our opponents surrounded in a butcher field, we're only now are we starting to capture it back. The objective number 3 we could not get all day long due to those pesky Hounds, and we are defeated. If you look at the battlefield, we kind of even armies, I suppose. Maybe we have a bit of a stronger one. We're about to destroy the middle. If we could go on for like 1 more minute, we would probably have it and be able to get the triple cap, or at least the double cap there, but alas, it was not enough. Very well played game, though. There was some awesome stuff, and I love the Ice Guard. They did such good work there. It's kind of cool to see Scarbrand the Exiled in action. He's not been super popular from what I've seen from replays, because Bloodthirsters kind of do a similar-ish job, not quite as well, but they fly, and that's a big difference in having that mobility on the battlefield. The Scarbrand, it does hit like an absolute heavily armored truck with kind of like scythes on the wheels. He got 1,800 damage gold, 109 kills, but eventually it was dragged low by the mighty court guard of Kislev, which is kind of odd. They were following Constantine into battle, but you know, it's a bit of everything. Once again, well played to Logic. He is a fantastic YouTuber. You can find him at logic_EU, so definitely feel free to go check him out. We'll delve into all the damage dealt and damage value of our units in just a second. Very impressed all round with the Winged Lancers. We've got 1 unit killed unnecessarily. A few mistakes here and there, but hey, we're still learning this game, so I'm not too mad about it. Before we do get to the kills and the gold value and all that juicy stuff, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and comment down below. All 3 of those things massively help out the channel, and I really appreciate the love and support I've been getting since I've got early access. It's been kind of crazy. I think we've got one of my videos has become like my biggest videos of all time. It's kind of insane. There's also links in the description: Twitch, Patreon, Discord, all that good standard YouTube stuff. But back to the action. Constantine kind of struggled here. I really did want Boris. Unfortunately, at this point I didn't have him unlocked, because Boris can kind of bully a lot of the big entities quite comfortably, whereas Constantine, he couldn't really go toe-to-toe with Scarbrand, and then just got hunted down by Hounds and Doggos all day, and it was a little bit rough for him. So 42 kills, 769 damage value. He did okay, I suppose. 1.4k on the Warbear Riders, not the best targets for them to deal with today, and still just under kind of paying for themselves there, so not a bad unit whatsoever. The Light War Sleds got 86 and 49 kills, 755 and 2,100 damage value, not shabby whatsoever, and the Winged Lancers 111 and 209 kills, 824 and 1,488 gold value from them. As for our reinforcements, the Ice Guard I was incredibly impressed with. They came in with just 1 life. I didn't summon them multiple times. 73 kills, 2,160 damage dealt, and I think not summoning a second unit of them when this unit died Not bringing them back was a big mistake because they held the middle so well alongside the Tsar Guard. I just needed a couple more infantry units in there, and you can see my build's quite infantry light. This is something I need to I fix on my Kislev pay, I think. Tsar Guard, 64 kills and 102 kills, 750 and 700 gold, 830 on the Frost Maiden, a little bit too little too late though with her impact. The other sleds didn't get involved too much, 900 gold value from the Wing Lancers. The Great Weapons got 877 and 628 value. I don't think anything else is going to have anything of note, unfortunately. Yeah, this Derbyshire Cavalry did get 873. Fantastic clean the Warhounds. But my god, the Flesh Hounds of Khorne are disgusting. So, Scarbrand did a good job. We've already been over him, but 1.8k gold value, 109 kills. 730 on the Halberds did okay. The Wards of Khorne did really bad, actually. Just the War Sleds, just pulling through them. They weren't able to do too much. The Hound play was just so, like, frustrating. These units all jumping over me. You're trying to deal with them. You're sending cav left, right, and center, meaning you don't bring the infantry in because you're trying to deal with the Hounds, and then the big kind of Khorne elite box in the middle kind of beats you down, and it's really quite challenging. Khorne, I think, are going to be one of the strongest factions on launch in the game. Maybe not the strongest, but certainly up there. The Flesh Hounds, 3,089 gold damage on a 750 gold unit, I believe they are. So either 700 gold or 750. They were obviously summoned multiple times, though. That wasn't done in one life, but still very impressive. The other doggos, 900 value and 764. Not quite as good, considering they were kind of summoned a lot. The Skull Cannon did okay. 870 value. Nice little kind of unit to have in the middle to try to deal with the Tsar Guard. It doesn't look like the Chaos Wards of Khorne were summoned. 2.2k value on the Chaos Warhounds of Halberds. They're the ones who were dealing with my Lord and the Bears and stuff. The other unit did a little bit worse, 720 value. Bloodlet's did okay. 880 work and 167. And then the other Flesh Hounds, 1.6k damage value, 104 kills, 1,000 value again, 47 kills, and 1,200. Jesus, there's so much value in them. 117 kills. They were summoned multiple times, though. So remember, that wasn't like in one life or anything like that. Harpies, or Furies, I should say, did a decent job. 1,000 value pretty much, and then 700. The other Warhounds, just not quite as good, unfortunately, as the Flesh ones, but still very good for capping and very good for harassment. So I really like this build, as well as the general idea behind it of just, hey, I'm going to have a load of, like, really strong tanky troops to hold the center objective. I'm going to flood the flanks with halberds and hounds. It's a really nice combo. The Flesh Hounds plus halberds is certainly some juicy stuff, because you can't send cavalry then to deal with the Flesh Hounds. You have to send infantry, and it takes a little bit longer. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a very fun time. I know I've had a few people commenting on when I'm going to be doing pitch battles. I still will be doing pitch battles at different points, I'm sure, in the future. I just have zero footage of it right now, so I can't really cast what I don't have footage of. Everyone playing the game at the moment just really wants to be playing this new game mode. Everyone's very excited about it, so we've not got any footage, unfortunately. That's why most casters haven't currently cast any of it. But, you know, hope that clears things up. I'm sure a load of pitch battles will be coming in the future. Anyway, guys, until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.